In this video, I'm going to show you how I do my distressed signs and also the PVPP method, paint vinyl paint peel method. What you're going to need is your board. This is actually a cabinet door. I got this at Dirt Cheap. They were $2.50 back in the fall. You can use any kind of wood that you would like to use. Then what I use is the cheap spray paint from Walmart. I believe they're 98 cents a can. And you'll need two, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a base coat of black, and then I'm going to do the top coat white, and then when I sand the white off, the black will show through. You could also just put your vinyl straight onto the wood, paint it one color, peel the vinyl off, and then sand the paint down, and your wood would show through. So your wood would be showing through on your decal and where you sand it. Okay. Also, you'll need your decal, well, you could use this as a decal. Some people just stick it on there, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually put this on there and then peel it away after I paint my top coat. I got this one from My Vinyl Designer. It was $1.95. Then you'll need your transfer tape, and then of course a ruler and a piece of sandpaper, which I don't have here, but I'll bring that just shortly. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go and I'm going to put 2 coats of black paint on the board. I'm going to cover it real good with 2 coats. Be right back. I've got it all painted black, and it feels kind of rough. So what I do, and that may be the cheap spray paint. Again, I use the cheap 98 cent spray paint from Walmart. I've used expensive spray paints like $4 and $5 a can, and with the humidity here, it never dries. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna wrap this up just a little bit. Okay. Take a damp cloth. I'm just gonna wipe that off there. Get that black paint off there. Wipe it off real good. Okay. We're just going to let that dry for a second. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get my design ready here. Set up a little bit. With these distress signs, it's however you want to make it. You can distress it a lot, distress it a little. If you mess up on it, you really cannot tell. Okay, I'll lay that down on there. And as you can see here on my design, I made me 4 little squares in the design software. And what I'm going to use that for is I'm going to make me a crisscross here. To show me where the center is. Those squares won't be part of the design. I'll peel those off in just a second. Okay, there we go. I'm just going to use my yardstick here to push this down. The table has ridges in it, so I'm going to pull this, get that off them ridges there. And I'm using contact paper from Walmart. It's like $5 a row. I believe you can get it at the dollar store too. I believe it's smaller rows, but at Walmart it's just contact paper brand, and it's I think $4.98 for a huge row. just keep pulling this. This would work better if I had my squeegee. I'm not sure where my squeegee is though. Down really good. It just does not want to come up, so we'll just try from another angle. Try from every angle. Flip it over, and I'm going to take those little squares off there. Those are just to make my lines to line it up with. And which I'm going to eyeball this anyway, so it's really not going to matter about those lines, but I just always put those on all my designs. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, and I'm going to find, I will use my yardstick here. $11.5. Actually, we could probably just do this here, measure the whole thing. 16, so we'll go at an 8. Mark right inside the 8. I'm going to do this all the way around. 8. Sides are almost 13. Those lines are just there for me to see where my design's going to be. Okay. Then I'm going to try to get that as lined up as possible. That's good right there. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to push this down. You want to push it down pretty good because you don't want the paint, you don't want the white paint that's going to go on top of this to seep under. And if you wanted your letters to come out in a different color, you would do your bottom color, whatever color you wanted your letters to be with this method. Okay, let's use this. Like I said, I'm not an expert on this. I'm just doing this in hope maybe it would help anybody. If I can help one person, it's helping. Because when I first started out, it's a huge learning process and it takes time. So get that pushed down really good. Okay. There we go. Make sure everything sticks. Toward a little bit, but that'll be all right. Okay. This tore away from the rest. I pulled it up, but that's okay. I don't mind because, like I said, this is going to be a distress sign. So I'll just push it down as best I can, and that'll just add to it. So there we go. So that's on there. And what some people do is if you wanted to just paint this white, just completely paint it white, and then stick the vinyl on there, some people do them that way, and it is a lot easier. I like the look of the distressed look, and with the paint, I like it better. So I always use matte paint. I don't know why. I like it better. I don't really like the glossy look. So I have my vinyl on there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go spray paint the white over the whole thing, paint it really well. And you do not want the top layer to dry all the way, because then when you peel this off, the top layer will stick to it and it will peel your top coat. So I'm going to go spray this, and then I will come back and peel it out. So I've painted it all white, And this is not completely dry. You don't want it completely dry when you peel off, when you do the PVP, when you peel, because the top layer will stick and you will peel the paint with it. I have this set on something. This is another door, but you could set it on anything just because it's still tacky wet. I use a sewing needle to get the vinyl up. Just start it and then slowly peel. I use a needle because it's a lot sharper than the tool, and it's thinner than the tools I have, and I can get up under it without gouging the black paint. Just barely lift up a corner, just peel it right up. And what you can do is you could go through and you could start all your letters. I've done that before too. Just start all of them. And then it's easier. You just go back and peel it off. It's however you want to do it. We'll get this all peeled up. And you could leave it like this if you wanted to. If you don't want to do the distressed look, you could just completely leave it like this as it is. Let's see. Part of the D. Then the I. And the dot. Okay. So we got that all done. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for it to completely dry to do the sanding, the distress part. Like I said, you could leave it like this if you really wanted to. It's your discretion, however you want to do it. But I am going to distress it, so I'll come back. I'm going to let this dry for, I'm just going to make sure it's dry. It probably depends on the temperature outside, humidity and everything, to know when it's going to dry. But I'll come back and then I'll show you how I distress it. It's dry, so make sure it's dry all the way around. So now what we're going to do is take your sandpaper, and I have 150 grit. And what you're going to do is you want to scuff the corners. You want to get the corners good, the edges good, and you just want to get, pretty much it's wherever you want to do it. I mean, there's no really right way to do it. You just want to get make sure you get the edges really good. You can even do that, like the sides. If you want to lighten those up, just go all around. Just make it look worn. Get in there and get the, which this has a, like, almost like a frame around it. Like this was a cabinet door I found. You just want to get those, and then I will lightly go the inside as well. And wherever you put, you can even put pressure in spots, and it's going to rough that spot up even more. You can even go down to the wood if you want. I mean, it's just whatever you like or whatever you think looks best. And then, when you get it to where you like it, the more pressure you put on it, the deeper the scuffs are going to be. Then what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab a damp cloth here real quick. Grab a damp cloth, and I'm going to wipe it down with the damp cloth and get some of that you just take a damp cloth and you want to get some of that paint off there, the shavings from the sandpaper there. Wipe it off real good. That's how I do a distress sign with PVP method. Paint, peel, paint, vinyl, paint, peel. Sorry. PVPP. There you go. Thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button if you'd like to get notifications when I upload new videos. I'm going to try to upload as many videos as I can with methods that I use, and hopefully it'll help beginners learn faster and easier ways to do things. Thanks for watching.